Hey everyone, welcome to A-Town After Dark, exploring Aurora's evolution. I'm DJ Mikey D, and you are tuned into another Great Day Colorado podcast. For this episode, we're flying solo to explore one of Colorado's most fascinating cities. Now, when most people think about the Denver metro area, they think, well, Denver. But let me tell you, Aurora's got a story that'll blow your mind. Picture this: wide open prairie, cattle grazing, maybe a tumbleweed or two rolling by. That's what Aurora started as back in the day, but then the railroads came through in the 1880s, and boom, this place got its name and officially became a town in 1907. Funny how transportation can just transform everything, right? But the real game changer? Buckley Field opening in 1920. That military and aviation presence just set the stage for everything to come. After World War II, families started moving out from central Denver, and Aurora began its transition from small town to proper suburb. But here's where it gets really interesting. Starting in the 1980s, Aurora's population just exploded. Affordable housing, strong immigrant communities. We're talking one of Colorado's most diverse cities now. And that diversity, man, that's what makes modern Aurora so special. We'll get to that in a minute, though. First, let's talk about how Aurora's been growing up as a city. The Anschutz Medical Campus? Total game changer. Made this region a healthcare and research hub. And the transit improvements? Light rail expansion, better bus routes, it's all about connectivity now. They're even doing this urban revitalization thing with mixed-use buildings and walkable neighborhoods. Pretty cool, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. Mikey, this is all interesting, but what about the fun stuff? Don't worry, I'm getting to the good part. Because Aurora's nightlife scene, absolutely wild in the best way possible. We've got neighborhood bars, live music venues, multicultural dining. It's like the United Nations of good times out here. And the food? Oh man, the food. But let me paint you a picture of a typical night out in Aurora. You could start on Havana Street, karaoke bars everywhere, amazing Korean food that'll make you question every other meal you've ever had. Or, if you're feeling country, head over to the Stampede Club for some boot-scootin' boogie. Yeah, we've got line dancing in Aurora. Who knew? Different districts, totally different vibes. Southlands has those shopping center bars where you can just chill after hitting the stores. Aurora Highlands and Elif Avenue have these growing pockets of local pubs that are just cozy, you know? And near the Anschutz campus, you've got spots catering to professionals and students. Always a good mix of people. Live music. We've got intimate venues hosting local bands. Open mic nights where you might discover the next big thing. The Aurora Cultural Arts District does seasonal performances that are just chef's kiss. And the craft breweries? Don't even get me started. Tap rooms, trivia nights, events, these places are community hubs now. We've got distilleries popping up, craft cocktail bars that could rival anything in Denver. But here's what really sets Aurora apart. The food diversity is insane. Mexican, Salvadoran, Ethiopian, Vietnamese, Korean, Indian, and so many places are open late. You want authentic international cuisine at midnight? Aurora's got you covered. And if bars and restaurants aren't your thing, we've got movie theaters, bowling alleys, seasonal outdoor concerts. There's something for everyone. Quick safety tip, though. Stick to well-lit main corridors, use rideshare if you've been drinking, and check venue hours beforehand. Common sense stuff, but worth mentioning. Now, let's talk about getting here and around. Denver International Airport is just 20 to 35 minutes away, which is crazy convenient. RTD buses and light rail can get you pretty much anywhere you need to go, but renting a car gives you that flexibility to explore at your own pace. Where to stay? Hotels near the Anschutz Medical Campus, airport hotels if you're flying in, chain hotels near shopping centers, plenty of options. And the attractions? Don't sleep on the Aurora Cultural Arts District, Cherry Creek State Park for water sports and trails, the Plains Conservation Center if you want to see what this area looked like back in the prairie days. Day trips to Denver are super easy, too. You get the best of both worlds. Big city attractions when you want them. Aurora's unique vibe when you don't. For planning your visit, check out the City of Aurora's official website, RTD for transit schedules, local newspapers for event listings, all the usual suspects. So here's the bottom line. Aurora's evolution from prairie to diverse suburban city has created something really special. We've got broad cultural offerings, growing nightlife, increasing economic and transit connectivity. And the food, man, the food alone is worth the trip. Craft breweries, live music and intimate venues, parks for daytime fun, all with Denver's larger attractions just a quick hop away. Aurora is not just Denver's eastern neighbor anymore, it's a destination in its own right. That's all the time we have for this Great Day Colorado episode. Until next time, this is DJ Mikey D reminding you to explore your own backyard. You might be surprised by what you find. Peace out. Stay tuned for our next.
Welcome, Great Day Colorado fans. I've got a quick message for small businesses, nonprofits, and local creators who want to reach more Coloradans without breaking the bank. If you've ever thought about advertising on Great Day Colorado, now's the time. For a limited introductory period, we're offering a special rate, just $27 for 6 months of on-air advertising. That's right, $27 to get your message heard by our listeners across the state and around the world for half a year. If you want to test the waters, this is a low-risk way to see how podcast listeners respond to your business. We'll work with you to make the spots sound right, measure basic performance, and make adjustments if you continue after the introductory period. The offer is available through December 31st, 2025, so reserve your spot soon. To get started or ask questions, email our promotions team by visiting greatdaycolorado.com, click on Contact Us, or visit greatdaycolorado.com, click on Advertising at the top of the website page. Thanks for supporting local media and for considering Great Day Colorado to help grow your business. Again, the introductory rate is $27 for 6 months. Offer valid until December 31st, 2025. Reach out today and let's tell your story to Colorado. That's all for this announcement. Now back to the show.
Next episode. Welcome to the Aurora Chronicles on Great Day Colorado as we continue our coverage of Aurora, Colorado. I'm DJ Mikey D, coming at you with some real talk about the city of Aurora and its unique history. For this segment, we're diving deep into a story that doesn't get nearly enough shine. The rich African-American history that's been shaping Aurora for generations. Now, I know what some of y'all might be thinking. Aurora? Diverse? But trust me, the story goes way deeper than most people realize. Let me take you back, way before I was spinning records. Before World War II, black folks were already here in Aurora. Small numbers, but present. Working on railroads, in agriculture, some tied to military jobs. But the real turning point? That post-World War II boom. See, when those defense and aerospace jobs started popping up and affordable housing got built, black families started migrating here in bigger numbers. But here's the kicker. They were coming despite facing some serious housing discrimination. Like, you could get the job, but good luck finding a place to live if you were black. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Churches became everything. I'm talking cultural centers, social hubs, political headquarters all rolled into one. These weren't just places to worship on Sunday. They were hosting voter registration drives, civic meetings, you name it. And the activists, man, they were fighting segregation on multiple fronts. Employment, housing, public spaces. Parents were battling for better education in these rapidly growing suburban school districts. Real community organizing, you know? And let's talk about the small businesses, the lifeblood of any community. Barbershops, beauty salons, restaurants. These weren't just places to get a haircut or a meal. They were community anchors, places where news got shared, connections got made, culture got preserved. Chatting with my good friend Wilford Thomas, former owner of Capre Chicken in Denver, he says, I remember growing up, the barbershop was where you heard everything. Who was running for office, what was happening with the schools, whose cousin was opening a new spot. That's where the real community building happened, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. Not by a long shot. There was this whole system working against black families trying to build wealth. Redlining, discriminatory lending, restrictive covenants, all these fancy terms that basically meant you can't live here because you're black. So black residents got concentrated in specific neighborhoods, which limited opportunities for wealth accumulation through home ownership. And we're still feeling the effects of that today. Fast forward to more recent times, and we've seen some real political gains. African American leaders on school boards, city council, regional organizations, shaping policy on everything from criminal justice reform to economic development. Organizations like the NAACP, black churches, cultural festivals, they're still out here doing the work, promoting our culture and keeping people engaged. But here's where it gets complicated and honestly, a little painful to talk about. In the last decade, we've been having this ongoing conversation about the exodus of black culture from Aurora. And East Colfax Avenue, man, that's become ground zero for this discussion. Stretching through Denver and touching Aurora's borderlands, it's been a focal point for redevelopment, rising rents, and neighborhood change. Gentrification, that's the word everyone uses, but let me break down what that actually means for people. Rising rents and property taxes pushing out renters and straining longtime homeowners. Those culturally specific businesses I mentioned earlier, they're getting displaced too. And here's the real kicker. This process is often linked to systemic racism, because when past racist policies concentrated people of color in certain neighborhoods and limited wealth accumulation, guess what happens when those neighborhoods suddenly become desirable? The people who built the community can't afford to stay, but here's the thing. The story doesn't end there. There are responses happening. Efforts to preserve and produce affordable housing, tenant protections, economic supports to prevent displacement, community-driven planning that actually involves residents. People are fighting to keep Aurora's soul intact. What's clear to me, after digging into all this history, is that African American culture in Aurora has been shaped by migration, by building community institutions, by entrepreneurship, and by straight-up civic engagement. Despite all the discriminatory practices and displacement pressures, our cultural and political contributions are woven into Aurora's civic fabric. You can't separate Aurora's story from the black experience here. They're intertwined. So where do we go from here? Ongoing efforts to document this history, protect community assets, expand equitable opportunity, that's how we make sure these contributions are remembered and built upon. Because you can't build a better future if you don't understand and honor the past. That is it for this episode of the Aurora Chronicles. Keep the conversation going, support local black-owned businesses, and remember, our stories matter. I'm DJ Mikey D, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.